In this podcast episode, Ben Shapiro delves into the major societal issues plaguing Western civilization. He highlights the resurgence of societal ills that were once considered taboo and how they are now coming back stronger than ever. One of the key issues he discusses is the rise of suicide and euthanasia in the West. Shapiro points out the alarming trend of suicide and euthanasia in the West, citing examples from countries like the Netherlands and the United States. He highlights the case of Zoraya, a young woman in the Netherlands who has decided to be euthanized due to her struggles with depression and other mental health issues. The numbers of euthanasia cases are on the rise, with a significant increase in recent years. Shapiro also discusses the prevalence of drug abuse and pornography in Western society. He points out the high rates of drug use among American students and the widespread consumption of pornography among both men and women. He highlights the addictive nature of pornography and its detrimental effects on relationships and society as a whole. Another major issue Shapiro addresses is the decline of family formation and childbearing in the West. He points out the increasing number of childless women and the rise of non-traditional family structures. He emphasizes the importance of traditional family values in maintaining a healthy society. Shapiro argues that religion has historically played a crucial role in shaping societal norms and values. He explains how religion provides a moral framework that takes certain issues off the table for debate and creates a social fabric that enforces these values. He emphasizes the importance of religious communities in upholding moral standards and promoting social cohesion. Shapiro introduces the concept of social immunity, which he defines as pragmatic limitations on powers that prevent the government from overreaching and infringing on individual rights. He argues that civil institutions, such as churches and local communities, play a vital role in enforcing moral standards and upholding societal norms. Shapiro criticizes Joe Biden for his handling of the Gaza conflict, accusing him of sending mixed messages and failing to take a clear stance. He points out that Biden's reluctance to fully support Israel in its fight against Hamas is alienating Democratic voters and creating confusion among constituents. Shapiro highlights the importance of Biden taking a strong moral stance in the conflict and calls out Michael Moore for his misguided comments on the situation. One of the tragic incidents that Shapiro discusses is the accidental strike on an aid convoy by the Israeli Defense Forces. He emphasizes that it was a mistake and not a deliberate attack on humanitarian workers. Shapiro acknowledges Israel's apology for the incident and the commitment to conduct a thorough investigation. He contrasts this with Hamas's deliberate targeting of aid workers and civilians, highlighting the complexities of war and the challenges of protecting innocent lives in a conflict zone. Shapiro criticizes Biden for his double standard in addressing civilian casualties in conflicts. He points out the hypocrisy of Biden's response to the Gaza conflict compared to his handling of similar incidents during his presidency. Shapiro highlights the need for consistency and fairness in addressing civilian casualties and calls out Biden for playing into Hamas's narrative of moral equivalence between deliberate attacks and accidental incidents. Shapiro also discusses the media's obsession with generating headlines about Donald Trump, particularly in relation to potential legal issues. He highlights the media's attempts to paint Trump as a threat to democracy and fomenting violence, despite the lack of evidence to support such claims. Shapiro points out the bias in the media's coverage of Trump and the political motivations behind their reporting. In a final point, Shapiro addresses the recent legal action against pro-lifers protesting outside an abortion clinic. He criticizes the Biden administration for targeting individuals exercising their right to free speech and peaceful protest. Shapiro highlights the contrast between the administration's response to pro-lifers and its handling of other forms of civil unrest, pointing out the hypocrisy in their approach to law enforcement.